Great. Everybody, welcome to Digital Asset News. My name is Rob, and we got a ton of stuff to go over, so let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about Polygon and Starbucks. We're going to talk about the first U.S. global bank to launch early 2023. We're going to talk about Cardano gets a lending and borrowing app with a Basel upgrade, or Basel. Then we're going to talk about Near Protocol gets sharding, which is beating Ethereum to the punch. And also, we'll just go over some Sweatcoin concerns. So let's just jump right into it and talk about, well, this will be the first story, but I just want to let you know that the things that are coming out this week are going to be huge. And I think the things we have to pay attention to is this. This is a great tweet from investing.com. It's pretty funny. I like this one. No time for puts. And there's a friend of the show, Jerome Powell, looking dapper. But of course, it's all doctor, but whatever. But just remember that you got the CPI on Tuesday, the consumer price inflation report. And I expect this, and a lot of people expect this to be a reduction, as we've seen different factors that could lead to that assumption. And if that means that things are going down, that's good for the economy, and that's good for markets, and expect the markets to pick up. Then there will be the PPI, the producer price inflation. And remember, that's the precursor of the CPI. And then you got retail sales, New York Fed manufacturing, Philly Fed manufacturing. But then the big one is jobless claims. And I hate to say this, but I do hope jobless claims go up, because that would mean that would be better for the markets. I'm not saying that I want everybody to be jobless, but we've done pretty well for quite some time. So we'll see how this all goes. So that is the first part, and we'll see how it is. I think the CPI is going to be good, but this is part of the bullish news. And the reason why I wanted to bring to you all this great information is, well, first of all, there's a lot of great information out there, and that's good for the market itself. And I know lately I've been pretty bearish. I know, I get it. But in the back of my mind, I'm always like, well, this is just bearish news and it's going to be over in a little bit. But I don't think that transcends to what you hear out there. So I just got to make myself clear. Sometimes it's like a coach that beats in your head. You got to push, you got to drive, you got to do all these things, and not stepping back and going, you're doing a great job. So here, remember, we're all going to make it. I'm telling you, if you have a 2, 3, 5 year time horizon, you're going to be really happy you stuck around these crappy months. And that's just the truth. There is some short-term bearishness, but today, to me, it's a lot of bullish news. And just remember, as time goes on, time in the market is greater than timing the market. Just stick around. I think you're going to be really happy. So this is what we got for the first up. Starbucks and Polygon. They got tapped for their Web3 experience. I don't think this is a big story, but it's just interesting that these big brands are moving into the NFT space and what it all means. I'm not talking about the goofy artwork, GIFs or GIFs, or however everybody says them differently, and all the like I said, the goofy artwork. I'm just talking about real things that you can do, tangible things like Web3 experience with some points, which is what this is. And just pay attention. And again, pay attention to the products that are growing in a bear market, because in the bull market, they'll be unstoppable. Today, we're thrilled to announce that Starbucks Coffee Company is working with Polygon, really it's Polygon Studios, I believe, to provide the blockchain tech to build its recently announced Web3 experience, Starbucks Odyssey. As a result, the partnership, the new Web3 powered experience will allow Starbucks Rewards loyalty program members and Starbucks partners in the U.S., I guess it's only U.S. only for now, to earn and purchase digital collectible stamps in the form of non-fungible tokens. Who knows what that could mean later on as far as utility? Maybe get a free latte or something like that. I don't really go to Starbucks that much. I just drink coffee now because I'm an old miser. But I mean, that's a step in the right direction. And I found it interesting, though, what this article, as far as Polygon goes about, talks about ESG compliance. I'm not surprised. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it. And it states Polygon is committed to becoming carbon negative by the end of the year and has already offset its negative cumulative CO2 debt. That's great. Ethereum chain's imminent transition to a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism will further reduce the carbon footprint of Polygon by 99.9%. And I just found it just interesting timing that this is the big narrative. I understand why, because I mean, we just had this report come out from the White House, the Biden administration, climate energy implications, and pretty much they were saying, like, look, if we can't get the proof of work protocol under control and it damages the grid, we got to think about banning it. I talked about this a couple of days ago, I believe on Saturday, and I said they're not going to ban anything. There's too much money being made. These Bitcoin miners will work around it. They'll use third-party or other types of renewable energy sources. We talked about solar, wind, and geothermal. Trust me, they're not going to give up $1 trillion, well, half a trillion market cap right now, just because they can't produce some energy. They'll make it work, trust me. But so there's that part, and then also you're going to see more reports and the things that are going on. That's going to be revolving around green energy, renewables, and crypto and digital assets. And this is just one of those examples from Squawk Box as they talk about, Ethereum and the merge and the transition over and carbon neutral or carbon negative. So it is what it is. And lastly, I will just say this. I invest in Polygon. Shocker, because I'm biased. But this is not financial advice on this show. This is just the news, just talking about things with you, Dan Fam, and just going over some things. I got to tell you, right now we're looking at under $1, right? Under $1 for Polygon. Do you not think we could get to $2.88 sometime in the future? Will Polygon just be around for under $1 forever? Or maybe it might be interesting thought to maybe dollar cost average that project. I'm not saying to do it, but just interesting to say. Anyhow, that's what we got for that story. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Let's move on to the next piece. First U.S. global bank to launch early 2023. Let me fix this real quick. And typos. There we are. First U.S. global bank to launch early 2023. And this was a tweet that was put out by the Mooch, Gary Moochie, who just recently had 30% of his company, Skybridge Capital, purchased over by Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. Good for him. I know there was some liquidity issues over there, and looks like he's got that stamped out. So that's good. That's really good. I hate liquidity issues, as you may know. But here's what he says. Breaking news at the SALT conference. Billy Hart of Abra Global announced the formation of Abra Bank, the first full depository institution for crypto in the United States. And I read these stories to you, and just think about this. Do you think crypto is going to go away? Do you think we're just going to be like, well, that was a fun experiment? Back to wire transfers. Back to checks. I don't personally believe that, but I could be wrong. This is what's happening. Abra Bank, when it launches, will be the first regulated bank in the U.S. that will enable our customers in the U.S. to deposit and bank with digital assets and access global fiat on and off ramps. Access global fiat on and off ramps. Why are they doing this? Abra believes that the best way to become the default Web3 wallet and crypto bank is by embracing global regulatory framework that provides for transparency, oversight, security, and agency. And before I read this next section, think to yourself all the junk that's been going on in our little area, in our little market, and the things that have been rug pulls, liquidity issues, insolvency. And tell me if this doesn't make a little bit of sense in some way, shape, or form. Just saying. Transparency means that Abra is committed to public disclosures on assets, liabilities, and risk management processes. Public disclosures on assets. That'd be nice, so we know what the heck's going on. Oversight means that Abra will work with global regulators, including U.S. and state banking regulators, to right-size our compliance and legal oversight to minimize customer disruptions. Okay, man, it's a little bit shaky. Okay, you got me on that one. Security, I like this, means that Abra is committed to ensuring the protection of customer funds and digital assets are always a top priority. I'm curious to see how they're going to do that. That's going to be limited hot wallets for digital assets and mostly in cold. That was mostly what a lot of institutions do. And then agency means that, and this is the most important, agency means that your assets remain your assets. And I must caution you, I did not look through the terms of service to verify this. This is just the report. This is just the documentation I see right here, the article. So I can't vouch for this, but they do state, we believe in the ethos of not your keys, not your crypto, but we recognize that people and companies need help to manage their digital assets. Abra will provide on-ramps, off-ramps, and transactional services to make crypto and Web3 work for everyone. That's pretty cool, I guess. Maybe that would be like this. Like if you're crypto savvy, like you are probably watching this video, and you're like, you know what? I can hold my keys. I understand the risks and I can do all that stuff. I don't want you guys dealing with it. Give it to me. Sure. But I want to transact whatever else I do for whatever that they have. Maybe they have loans. Maybe there's something else. I don't know. And of course, institutionals and people just don't want to do that. They just go, you know what? You guys take care of it. I got 3 kids and 2 jobs and I don't want to deal with it. Okay. But that's a mistake in my personal opinion. You should really hold your own keys. I'm just saying. So I guess it just kind of comes to the fact of there's a big tent for everybody. Whoever wants to get in, they can fit in. Like Too Short says. Launching Abra Boost. This is where things get wonky. And talk to me in the comments if this doesn't sound a little off. Abra will launch Abra Boost on October 3rd, 2022. Abra Boost is a new product offering that will enable all qualified investors to deposit and earn interest on their digital assets. Deposit and earn interest. Where have you heard that before? In the US, Abra Boost will be available to all institutional investors and accredited investors. It doesn't sound like the retail will be able to have it at first. This requirement will be in effect until Abra Bank launches in the US. What happens to Abra Earn when Abra Boost launches? When Abra Boost launches, all qualifying existing customers of Abra Earn, including individual institutional investors, will be transitioned to Abra Boost. At the same time, we will stop accepting new customers or assets. And I had a question. I was like, I don't remember Abra really being a big place in the crypto community. I just didn't. So I took a look here. And if you want to dabble in it, I mean, there's a link in the description. I think I put it somewhere. But if not, if I'm mistaken, it was abra.com. And you can download the app for individuals. And it's this full service crypto platform. You can trade 80 plus cryptos, earn up 10%. I do not have an affiliate link, so don't. I've never used them, so I can't say that I would use them myself. Don't use them. You can borrow stable coins for 0%. And then here's how it works. But I thought it was interesting. They've got 1.5 billion assets under management, 2 million wallets created, 7 billion transaction volume, 150 countries, top 5 ranked crypto apps. Okay. And again, this is where I get nervous. These earn rates. ETH2, 4%. Polkadot, 10%? USDC, 7.5%, 10%, 2%, 2%. Look, man, I learned my lesson with Voyager. I'm going to stay away from that for a very long time until someone can prove to me something else or we get full public disclosures. The only reason that I understood about what was going on with Voyager is because there's a public disclosure that they loaned Three Arrows Capital over $600 million. And at that point on June 22nd, I said, I can still use Voyager, but I will take everything off of Voyager. And that was the only reason, public disclosures. Celsius didn't have that. And for this one, I got to say I'm going to pass, but I thought it was interesting about what things are going on. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I'm just not going to do it. And next to last, this is a good one. Cardano gets lending. Just so you know, September 22nd is the date for Cardano's Basel hard fork. And of course, Cointelegraph never misses an opportunity 3 months after target date. But hey, still happened. And this is what's going on. And I think this is important to understand. I believe, or some people have told me, that maybe the apps are being delayed until the Basel upgrade, because that's going to help with the pipelining and throughputs and different functions of Plutus and make things a lot easier for developers. So great. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to get their first lending and borrowing app. Interesting. So the release is scheduled for September 13th. Guess they're going to be a little early. Making AADA V1 the first lending and borrowing protocol to launch on the Cardano mainnet. All right. After months of public testnet, maybe they just want to be first. AADA, I'm just going to call it ADA, Finance is finally ready to deploy its eagerly anticipated app. The release brings lending and borrowing to Cardano. It's pretty good. Introducing DeFi primitives to the network for the first time. ADA Finance plans to launch in anticipation of the Basel hard fork, which will update the Cardano network. And of course, for people who worry like myself, there was a successful external audit to ensure high-level protocol. And this was done by Vacuum Labs, which is a crypto and fintech company and a subset of Wing Riders with extensive audit experience. If anybody's a part of Wing Riders or AADA, contact me. I'd love to have you on the show. I don't know what's going on with you guys. Other unique features introduced by the platform are multi-asset lending, interesting, and borrowing, and the ADA 3-node liquidation protocol. The latter plays an essential role in enabling lenders to liquidate their loans. Oh, look at that. It's enabling lenders to liquidate their loans in the event of a rapid loan health factor downfall. So maybe they set some parameters and go, look, we are way too overheated here, and we got to liquidate before things go crazy. Terra Luna. And I just think that maybe that's, I would see that it would really depend, because if I have a loan out, they're like, hey, Rob, you gotta pay up, you gotta collateralize. And then I don't answer in 5 minutes and they liquidate me. Like, hey, what the heck happened? So I'm just curious to see how long that goes. What's that in the terms and conditions? Again, if you're with AADA or Wing Riders, contact the show on Twitter. We'll have you on. So that's what's up with Cardano. Things are looking good. And then the last one, Near Protocol. And Near, it's a top 25 crypto. It doesn't get a lot of talk about. But it's already doing some pretty good things, TPS, and it's already integrating sharding, which I think is way ahead of the game for Ethereum. Remember, the Ethereum merge just goes from proof of work to proof of stake. It doesn't introduce sharding. That's going to happen, I don't know, 2023. So who knows? But this is a good one about Near. Near blockchain moves ahead with phase 1 of sharding. That's pretty big. As a part of our Near's 4-step plan to shard the network, for the next year, the protocol will introduce 200 new validators. I got to tell you, that's not a lot. Let's be honest. But it's more than EOS. Sorry, Beardy, it's true. So phase 1, or its Nightshade playbook, facilitated by Near contributor Pagoda, this phase sees the introduction of specialist chunk-only validators that feed into the sharding mechanism, but are easier to set up than full nodes. Interesting. I should probably reach out to these guys. Paired with an 86% decrease, that's pretty big. Paired with an 86% decrease in the collateral requirements for all participants of the proof-of-stake chain, the changes seek to radically lower the barrier to entry for Near validators. In an interview with CoinDesk, Near will go from 100 to 300 active validators. That's a step in the right direction. Probably should be doing more. And Near's plan to shard the network will be done through a 4-step program called Nightshade. Earlier this year, it began phase 0 and will complete the upcoming phases of the upgrade in 2023. And I think they've already got into phase 1. So that's good news. And the reason why I brought this up, of course, is because Sweatcoin is being built on Near protocol. But then I also figured out that Near protocol is also using the Ethereum protocol to build on too. I did not know that. So they're using both. And here's what happened. If you haven't listened to the show in, I don't know, 2 months, I may have mentioned this Sweat coin. And it got listed today on actually 6 different exchanges. Bitfinex, OKX, FTX, KuCoin, and Bybit. And just real quick, if you're looking at volume, Binance is crushing everybody. 81 billion. This is 24 hours, right? Yeah, okay. 24 hours. Jeez, that's a lot. The next one is OKX. 20.5 billion. And for some reason, they have active as 3, but I think they're doing this by ratings. It doesn't matter. So OKX is 20 billion. Bybit is almost 10 billion. FTX is 12 billion. KuCoin futures and KuCoin is 1.12, and it also got listed on Bitfinex, 537 million, whatever. And then MEXC Global, didn't say it there, so that's 3. So that is, let me do some quick math roughly. 20, 30, 42, what was the other one? 43, 44, 46, 78, almost 50 billion in transaction volume in 24 hours. Still less than Binance, but I got to tell you, tip of the hat for that. But I got some concerns. And one of those concerns is that it was built on Near protocol. Now it's branching out into Ethereum. So I don't know if they can handle the transactions per second for that. That is the big thing. And then also, you can find this on CoinGecko, and you can take a look, and it's, get you this siren. Sorry, hold on real quick. Okay, sorry about that. They're coming for me. Gary Gensler. And you can see that on CoinGecko. If you take a look at Sweatcoin, it's just in preview mode only. As I hear for the rumblings for this one, Sweatcoin, it's going to be listed at the price of 0.006 or maybe 0.007. It's not that much. And that's okay. That's actually good. And the reason why I bring this up is because of this. First of all, the token generation event, which is today, or actually the next 21 hours. Everybody who has used the app, which is, I have it on my phone right now. That's a Web 2 version. The app itself, you get sweat coins, and they're not crypto. They are not crypto. The app on your phone. The app on your phone for Sweatcoin that you walk and accumulate sweat coins is not crypto. What that is all the different coins that you accumulate in your phone, which is not crypto. There is a wallet that you have to download. And that wallet, you can transfer all the different tokens that or Sweatcoin that you've accumulated, now go one-to-one in Sweat, which is the crypto. Unfortunately, and I said this many times, US is not going to get those coins initially because they don't want to deal with Gary Gensler and his nonsense and everything else. So that's the first part. So just so you know, that's what's going on. We had a deep dive. There's a link in the description. You can check it out. And I talked to Oleg and Ophir Oleg is the co-founder. Ophir is the chief marketing officer. He talked about, look, we're not going to do it now, but as far as the airdrop, we'll do it at some point. Just got to deal with all the regulation issues. But this is the thing. So I was an investor in it, as everybody knows. And initially, see this on the left-hand side? This is the sweat unlock and allocation. In the very beginning, and they've got over 30 billion tokens, but this is over months. Over the next 4 years, I do some math. In the next 4 years, it's going to be a slow release, and there's a cliff. So in the beginning, for the airdrop, it's not that much. So could there be a lot of selling? There could be. Could there be a lot of people staking because you're going to be able to stake? Could be. Could there be a lot of people buying? Could be. I don't know, for instance, but I got to tell you, tip of the hat to those guys for saying, look, we did a private round. Well, that's not what it's called. Oh, yeah, it was. So it was a seed round, private round, which I got into because credit investor, that's what it is. And people always ask, how much they pay you, Rob? How much they pay you? They didn't pay me squats. I paid a lot to them, matter of fact. And I got these tokens, and I paid 0.014 for it. What does that mean? That means today, as this all goes live, oops, that's not it. On Bitfinex, OKX, FTX, KuCoin, and Bybit, if they started at 0.006, which is a fair price, what does that mean? Well, that means that I can't dump on you. Oh, and by the way, I can't take my coins out anyhow for 12 months. There's a lockup. So I know people were concerned about that. And that's just what's going on. So for 12 more months, I'm in it with you. I've got skin in the game. No one paid me anything. I believe in it. It looks pretty good. They did exactly what they said they're going to do. We're going to have 5 listings and it happened. And that's it. So look, let me just think about that story. And that's it for today. And for the news, there's a lot of good news. And I wanted to put that all together because just remember, I know sometimes I sound very bearish, and I am in the short term, but there's a lot of bullish things going on. And as far as the time horizon, if you're going to stick with me, just stick with me 2, 3, 5 years. I think you're going to like the outcome. I can't guarantee anything. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. But I think there's better days ahead. And that's all I have to say. So anyhow, let me just think about that in the comment section. And now let's go into a little Q&A as we're done with the news. This ought to be good. Thanks for sticking around. Burp. I got to get rid of this banner. Comments.